Welcome to the whole new world of virtual ministry. Maybe that's a reality for you. Maybe this feels like a whole new world because we've been launched into a new season of ministry because of COVID-19. But just because our mode of ministry changes, that doesn't mean that our mission changes. The mission is worth it. Jesus is worth it, and he's worth all of the trouble we might have. So let's troubleshoot some of the common problems you might face while trying to do virtual ministry. Problem: you feel ill-equipped to be leading virtual ministry. Oof. Here's the thing. Maybe you're not super technologically savvy, but that's okay because that's not necessary for virtual ministry. What's necessary for virtual ministry is that you love Jesus, you know his mission, and you have a basic understanding of how to use the platform or services that your parish is going to use. So how do you learn those fundamentals or those basics? This is actually a great ministry opportunity to ask someone for help. Bring people into your ministry. Tap into the resources of people who are technologically savvy. Have them build you up. Keep it simple and know the basics. Problem: people are screened out. So the solution I would offer is to keep your meetings short but engaging. Video calls are a really great route to go when doing virtual ministry, but a good rule of thumb is to keep the meeting an hour or less. And make sure that time is utilized well and is aimed to be engaging. Well, how do you keep it engaging? Good question, anonymous audience member. You keep it engaging by varying your styles. Don't just talk, but have questions. Utilize breakout rooms so people can talk if your platform can do that. Ask questions in the chat function. Share your screen and use images. Adjust your instructional time to the age of the people that you're teaching. For example, if you're meeting with high schoolers, talking for 10 to 15 minutes at a time is a good rule of thumb. You don't want to go over that. So vary your ministry technique to keep it engaging, keep it short, and we'll get those screened out people back online for Jesus. Problem: the video meetings aren't going well. Maybe you feel like you're the only one talking and no one is unmuting themselves and offering anything. A good tip to use is to ask specific people questions. Their names are on the screen, so you can definitely use their name and ask them a question. Maybe you have the opposite problem where everyone is talking all at once. You've probably figured out by now, but on a video call, just ask everyone to mute themselves and only the person speaking should be unmuted. If you ask a question that you want everyone to answer, a good method is to either have an order already of people, like an alphabetical order, or use the popcorn method, where one person talks and then they say popcorn, Amanda, and then Amanda speaks. In general, you have to have a plan when you're doing a video meeting because you will be facilitating it. So make sure you have a plan and you lead the people well. Let them know what's going to happen next and what they should be doing in each moment. Problem: participation is dropping off. What do you do? Well, first of all, pray. And remember that ministry is not about numbers. It's not about how many faces you see on the screen, but it's about how many hearts are being led closer to Jesus. If your numbers are dropping off, invest in the people who are coming and reach out to those who aren't. If you have flexibility in your ministry, maybe try making series of things. So like a Bible study, you are meeting for 4 weeks to talk about the Gospel of John. That gives people something to commit to. They know when it starts and they know when it ends. Sometimes when ministry is never ending, people will just kind of go away. But if there's a series that they can commit to, it might be an easier invite to get people in. Problem: you are transitioning your religious education program from in-person to online and you don't know where to start. First step, take a deep breath. Awesome. Second step, remember our mission, which is to lead hearts closer to Jesus and more fully into the Catholic Church. When we know our mission, we know what to do. We know how to structure our program. So now some of the practicals and nitty-gritty of structuring that program. The first thing I would start with is researching and evaluating what learning management system you're going to use. So a learning management system, or LMS, is an online platform where a teacher or a catechist can share content and information, and students can access it and comment all in one place. There are a lot of LMSs out there. Google Classroom would be one of them, one of the most popular options. One thing to note about LMSs is that there are a lot of them, and most of them do have some fee or membership attached to it. So the best place to start would be, again, remembering our mission. We're ministering to people. Seek out the people that you will be ministering to and ask them what systems they use and what systems have been effective. You also don't have to use a third-party LMS. You could have everything on your parish website, or you could have emails be sent out, but just think about how are people going to get your information, where is it all going to be stored? And an important aspect with online ministry is keeping your communication consistent so people know how to reach you and they know where to expect that communication from. Are you going to be emailing them about changes about class time? Or are you going to be messaging them through a third-party LMS? This is important that you keep it consistent. Also, think about what expectations you have for the people you're ministering to and what expectations they should have of you. For example, do you expect people to contribute meaningfully to the conversation, to the class? Do you expect them to read and pray with the Bible outside of class before class starts? Maybe some expectations that you should hold your ministry up to is that people should expect to hear the gospel proclaimed to them, and they should expect consistent communication. These are some things to consider when starting this transition to online ministry. So a lot of this depends on the people you're ministering to. General rule, keep it simple and be consistent. Those were just a few problems that you have encountered or you might encounter in virtual ministry. Above all, continue to reevaluate, remember the mission, and pray always.